Joe Rogan praises Founding Fathers for system to prevent tyranny. Joe Rogan warned that while America's freedom is being chipped away at, it is still ultimately far freer than any other country on earth. Podcaster and comedian Joe Rogan spoke on his show about how America was built by the Founding Fathers specifically to battle against tyranny slowly eating away at its freedoms. The way this country is run, it's not perfect. The way this country is run is so effing superior to any system that is anywhere else in the world because of the checks and balances that were put in place by the Founding Fathers, Rogan said. They knew that tyranny is a natural course of progression for human nature. Rogan warned that when tyrants, whether foreign or domestic, do get power, they use it in sinister ways to silence opposition. Joe Rogan, left used to be about freedom, now roles reversed and free thinking comes from the right. Look at what they try to do, look at what people try to do to stop criticism on Twitter. They effing send the FBI to Twitter to try to remove people from Twitter because they're saying things that interferes with the way they govern, Rogan observed. All that is natural and the Founding Fathers were the only people that put together a system to mitigate that. Over time these corrupt heads have done an amazing job of trying to chip away at that or convince people it should be chipped away at, and convince people that freedom is not important, what's important is equity and inclusiveness and diversity, Rogan noted. No, that is a sheep costume the wolf wears, and the wolf is control. The wolf is control over people and forcing people to bend to your ideological will, whether it's the will of the people on the right or the will of people on the left. He reiterated, that's the form that it comes in the form of equity and inclusiveness. Amy from New Braunfels, Texas praises Joe Rogan's new cancel-proof comedy club in Austin, Texas. Joe Rogan's new cancel-proof comedy club cheered as free speech win, good for country to laugh without fear. He then spoke about how some level of silencing dissent happens in countries around the globe, but suggested America is slightly less far gone. It sort of happens everywhere, but here America is the best version of it. This is the best version of it, the most free version of it in the world, Rogan said. You and I are on a effing podcast right now that millions of people are listening to and we're not being censored at all, so this exists here uniquely. You have to understand that. This ability to broadcast to millions of people without any censorship, no oversight, there's no one leaning over our shoulder, that's unprecedented. Rogan, who recently opened a comedy club for controversial comedians, has discussed the government's use of woke messaging about diversity with his guests before. Actor and comedian Russell Brand sits down to talk to Tucker Carlson about his battle with addiction and attacks from the cancel culture mob. Earlier in March, Rogan interviewed comedian and commentator Russell Brand, who said identity politics shield the political establishment from critique. They've managed to make ordinary American people hate one another, like on the basis of a 50-50th split. You can't criminalize half of a country and say that they're far-right fascists any more than you can say that, in my view, extreme leftists, he said. These kinds of issues oughtn't be what's determining how a country is run, and when they are the issues that determine how a country's run, the powerful run amok, the elites are able to pursue their agenda just fine.